Welcome again to our podcast, More Layers, everybody. I am Seth Mariano.
And I am Jordan Smith.
Yeah, and Jordan just told me just before we got started today that he is going to be a first time uncle.
Yes, I am. My brother gave me the go ahead to start telling people about this. He and his wife are having their very first child. So I figured I'd take a moment to give a great big shout out to them.
And how long have they been married?
See, they've been married, I believe, since I want to say 2014, 2015. So it's been about 6, 7 years.
Okay. The Tuesday after today is National Stress Awareness Day. I think that's an issue probably relevant to everyone. Everyone's probably got their own unique story. I would encourage any of you to, seek help if necessary,
hmm
do what you got to do to manage it or whatever. I'm rooting for all of you.
I know there's several like websites that you can visit. I know, like, I've been to a therapist before that helped me through things. I might go back at some point because of all the things that happened in 2020. But yeah, honestly, just having someone to talk to about my stress or whatever's been going on is very helpful. So I recommend a lot of people to do the same.
I don't know. It's probably uniquely difficult for me. I'm not the most open book. I guess I'm not comfortable talking about a lot of what's going on inside me, but
Sure.
I guess I bury it, but I figure out a way, I guess, to ignore it. I don't know if it's the healthiest strategy, but I feel like I can. I don't know. I feel like I've done pretty well, maybe fighting some of those feelings on my own.
Okay. I mean, everybody has their own way of going about things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, prior to our launching this series, um, when Jordan and I were going back and forth on Google discussing ideas, potential ideas for this series, he mentioned a game he had heard about. He discovered called "Will You Press the Button?"
hmm
And so I've got willyoupressthebutton.com pulled up right now on my Chromebook here.
And I've got it on my phone here.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I figured maybe we could maybe go back and forth taking turns, answering some questions. So for those of you who don't know, basically you're presented with a situation, like something you have to choose to either accept or reject, and with it would come a certain condition. Like, for an example, this is my own imagining. Would you be willing to accept all the money in the world on the condition that you have to pay half of it in taxes each year? That's an example, my imagining.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, there's this good thing, but then here's the catch.
Right, right. So what should we go maybe back and forth answering a few?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, all right. I'll go first, and I've got here on my screen. All right. You get a random superpower, but here's the condition: you
hmm
will be hated and feared irrationally for it if anyone ever finds out. And I think I am going to press the button on this one.
I was about to say, I probably would too, because I feel like that's what a lot of superheroes do anyway. That's why they conceal their identity. Because if people knew who they were, then they'd probably come after them. But like my
Well,
first
I
thought
just
was maybe
decided.
like Spider-Man.
Okay. Well, I just decided maybe. I just decided. Well, I don't. I don't care if how people react to it. Well, I can have it, and people cannot like it, and I can be okay with it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. All right. You got one on your phone?
Yep. You get the ability to travel in time, but you can only travel in one direction, future or past, which you choose before gaining the ability. So really, once you travel into the past, you can't go forward again, or if you travel into the future, you can't go back again.
So, like personal past or future, or just in general, you think?
I'm thinking general.
Yeah, I think I'll press on this one.
All right. And let's see, how many people? 66% of people agree with you.
All right, so 66% also pushed it.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, maybe it'll be nice to maybe go back and maybe witness some history.
Yeah, I'm seeing some comments here that people thought traveling backwards would be better.
All right. All right. And this one says you will be able to be invisible, but the cost will be $100 per hour. And I am going to say no.
So wait,
I
say
don't
that
think
one
it's
again?
worth it. You'll be able to be invisible, but the catch is you have to pay $100 an hour.
So every time you use it. Holy
And I
cow.
said no.
Yeah, I definitely would not press the button.
Yeah. Yeah, finances I think are tight for me as it is. I think that's not an economically wise choice for me.
Yeah, and there's, at least for me, not very many times where being invisible would be practical for anything.
I don't know, except maybe hiding from somebody trying to kill you.
Or just someone who's been stalking you, whatever the case may be. But yeah. All right. So for this one, you could have an internal tracking device inside your brain that helps you find anything that you lose. But everyone knows of you having this power, and every day there are people asking you to find some of their own belongings.
So I guess if I push the button, I would be running the risk of being hounded by requests from a lot of people all the time to help them find something, even if it's not that important. I guess.
Yeah, pretty much you have the ability to find anything you lose, but people will probably take advantage of that.
Yeah, I guess it depends on what I lose. I mean, I guess I guess the kind of things that I probably lose track of the most often, or maybe, uh, or maybe, I don't know if I really lose stuff hardly ever. You know, maybe I'll just pass on this one, not push.
Yeah, I'm kind of debating because I know oftentimes with games like this, people will pay very much attention rather, to the way it's worded. And they're saying you will find things that you lose, but people are asking you to find things that they lost. So would it still work?
And most
It,
people would probably say, "Hey, I'll push it because they lose their keys or something."
right. So you said you would not press the button, right?
Right.
Okay. It looks like 27% of people agreed.
That's
And a
perfectly
lot of it,
fine with me.
yeah, I was about to say a lot of it probably just was based on that technicality and the wording.
Okay. Are you still torn?
I probably won't press the button simply because I don't want people taking advantage of me, or at least trying to.
Okay. All right. I've got one on here that says you can now make anything from nothing, but you suffer immense pain whenever you form something.
So you can literally just create whatever you want, but it's gonna hurt.
Yeah, I think so.
And how painful did they say?
Immense.
Immense pain.
Real bad. Real bad.
I guess
I think
ultimately it would depend on what I'm creating. Like
I
if
think I would say no.
see at first I was gonna say no, but then I thought if I can create literally anything, then I could create an instant cure for cancer. And while I would feel immense pain, it didn't say it would last forever and ultimately it would be worth it. I would think. So if I were to use it for reasons like that, then I would press the button, but otherwise probably not.
I'm not sure it's worth the pain. I won't press.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do other people say?
Maybe I can go back and see. Hang on, let's see.
Oh, did you already go past it?
70% said they would press it.
Okay. Hopefully it's for good reasons. All right. So the next one I have here, you have the ability to fly at speeds of up to 150 miles per hour, but you have no legs.
So you could fly, but you can't walk.
Yeah, I mean, if you're flying, you don't really need your legs for that anyway.
I figure I fly, I don't need to walk, so I'll press the button.
Yeah, and even then, you could probably use something that helps you move around, like a wheelchair, when you're not flying.
I'd be flying or getting to fly like as fast as a race car.
Oh yeah, definitely. All right, so I
150
would,
miles an hour, yeah.
and it's almost pretty split because 53% pressed it, whereas 47 did not.
So no like clear cut majority winner, but just a
Yeah,
slight one.
yeah, just slight.
Yeah. Okay. This next one says you get $1 every minute of your life for the rest of your life, but you have to lose your sense of humor if you accept that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, having like getting $1 a minute, or not $1 a minute, $1 every. Wait, is it $1 every minute?
I think so.
Okay, so I'm not going to do like any heavy mathematics here, but $1 a minute, that's $60 an hour, which is at least 4 times minimum wage. But I know there are some jobs that will still pay more than that, depending on what it is. Plus, I honestly get the most satisfaction out of making people laugh, so I don't think I'll press the button.
Yeah, all right. Um, I probably wouldn't. I don't know if I have much humor of my own as it is, but if I were to gain $1 a minute, automatically,
Mhm.
I would probably have too much money and get carried away. well, like it says in that one Proverbs passage, if I have too money, God, I might deny you. If I have too little, I might steal from people.
Yeah, I mean that definitely can happen. Like some of the nicest people, they can be corrupted that way.
Okay. How about one more from you?
Sure. And this is honestly kind of an interesting case. Um,
All right.
you can have any woman or man that you want, but you have to have a cage match fight with Chuck Norris.
I could probably use a little cage fight now and then. That would probably might be good, like muscle training, I guess. I don't know if I would if he would break one of my bones or something, but but you know you know I'd get to pick a good decent woman to partner with, and I might build some body strength.
There you
I
go.
think I'll press. Yeah, I think I'll press.
All right. Just out of curiosity, if there was like one celebrity that you would want to be with, or like a celebrity crush, I guess, who would it be?
Good question. So, like, a celebrity to date or marry?
Sure.
I've actually have like kind of a list of rotating Hollywood crushes.
Hmm.
I'll probably just name names.
Sure.
So, Laura Morano, um, Lacey Chabert, uh, Christy Carlson Romano, probably my number one.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, I think also Peyton List, the Disney Channel star, and Joanna Garcia Swisher, who's been on Once Upon a Time, Astronaut Wives Club, Freaks and Geeks,
Okay.
and Amy Adams.
All right.
Yeah. I guess those are like the big ones.
Cool.
Yeah. Can you tell me yours?
Well, the one that is always the one I go to when asked a question like that is Emma Stone.
Well, yeah, I've seen her in Birdman, La La Land, The Help, Amazing Spider-Man,
Yep.
um, Zombieland. I saw Easy A as well. Yeah, I think
She's going to
she's
be
good.
she's going to be in the upcoming Cruella movie.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Ultimately, I would just be excited to meet her. There's a long list of celebrities that I'd like to meet, and she's definitely on there.
Oh yeah, like any other crushes you can tell me?
Not so much any crushes. I mean, when I was younger, it was Natalie Portman, but not so much now. I kind of grew out of that one.
When I was younger, I had a thing for. Well, back then she called herself Alexa Vega. Now she's Alexa Pena Vega of Spy Kids movie fame.
Okay.
Uh, when I was older, it was Ashley Tisdale.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
I know her.
yeah. I still like them somewhat. I think they're good at what they do, and they're
Yeah.
decent. They're decent people, I think.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything bad about people like Ashley Tisdale, at least thus far, so
No, she seems, I guess, grounded and down to earth enough.
yeah.
And they just, there's a series, an original series on Disney Plus, a sort of documentary series. I don't know if you've seen it, called Becoming. Uh,
I might have seen it when scrolling around on there. I haven't watched it though.
and so now they explored the life stories of celebrities like Ashley Tisdale, Nick Cannon, Rob Gronkowski, um, Caleb McLaughlin of Stranger Things fame, and
Okay.
some others. Yeah.
That's so it's just like a look into their personal lives?
Or their beginnings and career stories, rather.
Okay.
Yeah.
There used to be this show that was on for a little while. I completely forget the name, but it had to do with a celebrity temporarily swapping lives with like a common person that had the same name as them. So example, if like Dwayne Johnson, if there was a non-celebrity named Dwayne Johnson, they would swap lives for a week and see how the other lives. Like they get to experience what the other has to do or gets to do. I wish I could find it, but it was really cool to see. So that it would be put into perspective for both of them.
Okay. I think I have I might have like I think I have crushes on like a few of the Loud House actresses as well. You know,
Mhm.
I've I've seen them or heard them, and they seem like nice girls.
I haven't seen much of Loud House myself because I really don't have Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, or any of those. So, like, I have a basic idea of what Loud House is, but I don't know any of the actors or actresses.
Well, they've got Jessica DeChico, who was on Emperor's New School.
Really?
Nika Futterman. Yeah. Oh, and she was also an alumnus to Syracuse University too.
Go figure. Wow.
Yeah. Go Orange, my college team. I didn't go there. I went to MCC here in Rochester.
Yep.
Yeah. And Nika Futterman from Hey Arnold, Maya and Miguel, Clone Wars. Yeah.
Oh.
And Catherine Tabor, whom I mentioned before, is Lori Loud, and she was Padme on Clone Wars.
Oh wow. Okay. Like I've been watching
Um,
Clone Wars, so I'll have to watch out for that one.
all right. Liliana Mumi, who was in the Cheaper by the Dozen films, the sequels to Disney's The Santa Claus, uh,
Okay.
the and the Air Buddies film series.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Let's see. Gray Griffin, also known as Gray Delisle, like one of the biggest names in voice acting, probably. Done Fairly Odd Parents, Rugrats, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
All right.
Uh, Laura Jo Miller, who has done work on screen and stage, was in a sitcom called Give Me a Break, and has done some soap opera acting as well, and has been on Doc McStuffins.
Okay.
And Christina Puccelli also has been on Doc McStuffins.
Is Christina Pacelli, is she related to Andrea Pacelli? Do you
No,
know?
it's Puccelli with a P.
Oh, Pucelli. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Why don't we move on now to our main topic?
Sure.
So today it's what actors and music might be good for our own biopics. So if our stories, hypothetically, were told in a feature film, um, what songs or music um, might fit in with our stories and
Hmm.
who might be good to play us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I didn't come up with like a long list of actors to play me, but I did have at least a like a small list of songs to use.
No. Yeah, like can you like name them and why you chose them, and we could maybe go back and forth.
Sure. I kind of put this one on the list because I started listening to it recently, but the first one I wrote down was Defying Gravity, which is a song that comes from the musical Wicked.
Yeah, that's like a modern theater classic right there.
Yep. And I put it on there because it has like the message of be your own person, set your own path. And they're like, I fly so high, so nothing can stop me now. It's like, don't
Yeah,
let anything get in your way of doing what you want to do.
yeah, yeah. From my like limited knowledge of the show, I would say that Elphaba takes that idea to a dark, unhealthy extreme, but generally, it's a it's a kind of good concept. Be yourself, that kind of thing.
Yeah, like any positive message can be twisted, but it's still a positive message.
Yeah. And Adina Menzel is, I guess, an on-off crush of mine.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. No, no, I'm pretty charmed by her.
I mean, hey, everyone has their own likes and dislikes in people, so I'm not one to judge.
Nah, well, I didn't expect you to.
Awesome, because I wouldn't have wanted to. It's your choice.
All right. One song that I thought of for my own movie. Now, I haven't really seen the film in full, but I know the song. I'm acquainted with the song overall enough.
Okay.
Go the Distance from the Disney film Hercules.
Oh, you know what? I wrote that down too.
Ah, so maybe they could combine both of our stories into one, and they could like do kind of like a summer nights in Greece thing, go back and forth.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if we both picked it, then must mean it must work for both of us.
Yeah. Why'd you put it on your list?
I think like the lyrics of dreaming about glory or dreaming about being a somebody. There's that theme in there, kind of implied in the lyrics that I felt like I've had that ambition, or I used to when I was younger. Even in recent years of my life, I dreamed about being somebody that that many would love, and in one sense, I think a lot of people do, but I wanted to really I used to want to be like a superstar, an icon, and I no longer feel that way. I'm pretty much content. Maybe working at my current job in the school district for the rest of my life, and then maybe doing something rather. I don't know if the right word is obscure, that something not as famous or noticed, like like voice acting for commercials, or or just podcasting, and maybe interviewing celebrities and getting to know them more personally someday, and maybe doing this podcast more in the future.
So you generally rather stay out of the spotlight?
Yeah, I think maybe the biggest reason because I can maybe get addicted to adulation, or my motives may be impure sometimes when I say or do something, and can maybe teeter on the selfish brink or selfish side. So, uh, you know, you know, if if I can maybe use my fame, if maybe God can use my profile for good,
Sure.
then maybe it would be okay. But I don't know. I guess I would be afraid of uh, getting too carried away and too focused on getting attention and things for myself, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, there's always going to be like that temptation there, but honest to God, the biggest reason I want to be like a big actor, big voice actor, big star, whatever, is just so I can reach out to more people and have a bigger positive impact on society.
Yeah, and I suppose that would be like an advantage of having a profile like that is, having that easily having that tremendous influence. But I feel like you know you can accomplish that even even if you're living what they would call a normal or ordinary life that's not that glamorous or globally famous or whatever.
Right. Although something that always comes to my mind is like, for example, the Make a Wish Foundation, because a lot of people they will use their wishes to like meet a big person, and I'm not saying I want to do that just so I can have that like position where people will want to see me, but I've watched like many compilations of people really wanting to meet people, and then when they do, they get overly excited. And honestly, I just want to be one of those people that can give them that excitement.
Well, that's good. I think that's a good ambition. Yeah. So that song I think would probably describe that former stage in my life of loneliness and ambition and wanting to be something more to more people. It would probably describe that stage in my life.
Sure, and I also think, especially since I kind of did this in the movie anyway, that song would be a good song to play for like a traveling montage.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
maybe.
because I think in the movie they show him in multiple places before he even gets to where he's going. Like they show him walking on like a rocky canyon type place. He's in a field of flowers. He gets close to the Temple of Zeus, and then he's finally there. I think at one point he also like knocks down a tree or something, or uses a log to cross a watery river, something like that.
I think you know the film better than I do.
Well, I've also seen it a few times, one or two times recently. So
Mm. Have you watched it on cassette, DVD, TV?
I think we have it on cassette at this point, but we'll probably get it on DVD at some point. And if we were absolutely desperate for whatever reason, I think it's on Disney Plus.
You have Disney Plus?
Through my sister.
All right. Well, thanks, Julia. Yeah, yeah. We've got ours through my dad.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah. He's a pretty generous guy.
He sounds it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, did you have a unique reasoning of your own for picking "Go the Distance"?
It was kind of along the same lines as what you were saying. It would be a good song to express what I hope to get out of life, believing that I can make it there one day. And then, as I was mentioning, it would be also a good song to play while doing like a traveling montage.
Okay.
So,
So, what was another one that you wrote down?
well, the next one I had written down was specifically the reprise of One Jump Ahead from Aladdin.
Yeah. And we were both in Aladdin.
In a sense, yeah, it wasn't like a stage version, but it was still technically a musical.
Oh, it was remotely. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know if everybody realizes that this is technically a reprise to that song, but for those who aren't fully aware, this is the moment where the prince going in to see Jasmine kind of shuts the door to the palace on Aladdin, kind of insulting him. And as he's walking back to his little hideout, I guess, for the lack of a better word, he's kind of saying if people would just take a closer look, they'd see I'm different than what I am on the outside.
Or more than what they know.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like that is one of the more relatable songs that I've heard. So it would, to me, be a great fit somewhere in a biopic for me.
I think now that you've mentioned it, I think it would probably work in my own story.
Okay.
Because, I guess for like about as long as I can remember, I feel like I've been judged by people because they misunderstood me.
Yep.
Maybe it has something to do with my autism, and maybe you could say the same about your story
I can.
because you're autistic.
Yep.
And well, I guess as I've gotten older, felt maybe until recently, or maybe a little bit lingering even now, uh, a determination to prove that that I'm not just a waste, or not just a big bunch of trouble or garbage, and and that is, in a way, I guess, kind of the idea that this song "One Jump Ahead" expresses.
Yeah. So what do you got next?
Yeah, I guess this is a sort of unique case. I thought of a song by Bruno Mars called "Young Girls." I don't know if you're familiar with it.
I know of Bruno Mars, but not that song.
So, for a lot of my, I guess, childhood and adolescence, I have struggled with not technically pornography, um, consumption that had, well, media consumption, I guess you could say, that had a porn like effect on me, on my thinking, on my emotions, maybe.
Okay.
Everyone's different, I guess, in a sense. So it doesn't matter. What matters ultimately isn't necessarily what you're consuming, but how it affects you, I think.
Yeah, really everyone has their own thing that they struggle with. So
And
and I'm sure there's some people that have very similar things going on. So you're not alone.
I don't think I am. So, yeah, in recent years, and for years, multiple years before that, it was a major struggle that that I did quite a good job, more often than not, of keeping in the closet, and it became kind of like, I guess you could say, it was an addiction. And the song may have been specifically talking about like one night stands or impure sexual romantic relationships,
Hmm.
uh, but I, but I think the kind of emotional thoughts expressed can kind of apply to someone going through a bad addiction, and struggling to escape the feelings, or escape those bad habits, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think it was Lucy and Charlie Brown that was like, the fact that you're aware that this is going on means you're not too far gone.
Yep, and she said that to Charlie Brown in A Charlie Brown Christmas. We mentioned that line on a previous episode.
Yeah, I thought we did. I just couldn't remember which one it was.
I think it was the second one.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know what the heart really behind the writing of that song was, but the kind of stuff, the kind of feeling of shame or disapproval of one's own bad habits, like in this case, I guess it's relating to connections with girls, sort of. I guess in a way it applies to me. I never really had a romantic history. I have never had one, but I I have been guilty of of doing stuff behind closed doors that have in a way fueled or produced um, feelings of discrimination and, I guess, frankly, hatred toward the opposite gender.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's really like the heart of the problem. If you're struggling with something like pornography or just looking with a lustful attitude at a picture of a girl or a girl in person, it's discriminating because you probably wouldn't look at just any that way.
Well,
And
yeah.
in in our school district employee training, we have these periodical training courses online. And in the course for handling sexual harassment, it describes harassment as a form of discrimination. And so, in a way, it gets to like the root of the problem or why it's a problem. Yeah,
Well, I commend you for talking about it, though.
yeah. I've never really opened up like that about it before. I've never really told anybody. Well, like my parents have known, and probably my sister have known at least a fraction of that story, but I feel like a song with that kind of story would fit into my biography well.
Okay, that's well thought out.
Yeah. Yeah. You got another one?
Yeah, I've got a small list left. The next one I had written down uh, was a song by Tyler Wood simply called Dad.
Never heard of Tyler Wood.
I hadn't either until I accidentally stumbled across this song somehow. Uh, but for those who do not know, and nobody would blame you because I haven't really talked about it at great length with too many people. Back in October of 2020, I did lose my father, and I had heard this song not too long after, and it kind of hit home because the song really talked about all the good things about this guy's dad and really how he thought he deserved more than a thank you or a pat on the back. And the last line in the chorus was, anyone else would call you Superman, but I would call you Dad. And honestly, I feel like that's how I was with my father.
Yeah. And you would say he was that good a man?
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah, yeah, well,
So I feel like it would be a good kind of homage to him.
yeah. I probably missed out because I never got to meet him. I have met your mom, I think.
Yeah, you have met my mom, I'm pretty sure. My dad, he often helped with the shows that you and I have been in, and he would usually uh, be there at least once or twice for the meet and greets at the end of the shows. So maybe you've seen him around and you just didn't realize it, but I don't think you've officially met him.
Yeah, probably not. But I've met your mom. Going across the street to the Kodak Center on. We had our cast photo night at the theater.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
right, right. I think I don't know if you remember this. I said that I'd wear a hat, but I don't want to mess my hair up for the picture.
Well, I mean, the cast picture, which is the one that has like everybody in it, it's shot from a good distance away. So really, that's not the picture you really need to worry about. And then the close-up individual photos, we have our costume on, so it's probably not that much of a problem.
We also had headshots taken in, I think, one copy in black and white, one in color for each of us.
That is true. I didn't think about that.
And taken, well, they had us all wear plain black, and it was probably like maybe I don't know. Was that like maybe the middle of October? I think it was still fairly warm at the time, and we were still at the Eagles Club.
Yeah, I think that was early mid-October, like you were saying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I actually bought my shirt for that photo. Oh, the day that my shot was taken, actually. It was, yeah, so it was like a last minute grab. I went to the mall that day. I
Okay.
mm, I had found something from Old Navy online, and I went and grabbed that at the mall and wore that to rehearsal that night and got my picture taken.
Nice.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's probably one of my favorites in my whole closet.
That is cool.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So who went last? Who said their song last again?
Uh, I think the last one I listed was Tyler Wood's dad, and then
Yes,
we
yes.
kind of went into the theater stuff. So
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Um, this next song I have a vague memory of hearing on a cassette when I was younger.
okay,
It was a Suzanne Vega album. Some of you may recognize the name because her song "Tom's Diner" was sampled on a recent hit called "Centuries" by Fall Out Boy.
oh, okay,
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's another song that was on that tape called "Luca," and I read a little bit about it online, and it's apparently supposed to be about. Well, it's implied that the child who's the singer is being abused,
oh,
and this this song was inspired by a group of kids she saw like outside her apartment window or something.
all right,
There are like there are like some lyrics in the song like if you hear a suspicious noise or hear something violent or something, you know, don't ask if I'm okay or don't do anything about it, just ignore it. Which is, I guess, is kind of a sarcasm. Pretty much the kid saying, I've given up hope. Hope whatever happens, I'm just gonna take it. Think it. I don't care if I die or something like that.
okay,
Yeah. Um, I wouldn't say that I've been abused, at least not on purpose. I've I no, I have felt hurt. I have felt like I've been treated harshly in past years, and I don't know. I just think for that reason, I would probably only like this song in there somewhere.
okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah. You have any more?
Yeah, I've got like three or four left. One that I also wrote down was Heaven's Light from Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Another Disney.
Oh yeah, I'm a big Disney guy. But this one in particular, I selected because, sorry, that was my dog.
Hey there.
But yeah, I put that one in there because it's a song where he, meaning Quasimodo, he finds somebody that he is attracted to, and he starts thinking, I never thought this could happen to me, yet here we are. And around a couple times, like a small handful, maybe, if I found somebody that I was attracted to, that song would often pop into my head. So it's like if my biopic had a love interest for whatever reason, they could throw that song in there.
Like maybe played by Emma Stone.
Ideally, maybe, but yeah, Emma Stone, if you're listening to this and you need a character in a film, please think of us.
Yeah. You do good stuff. You've done good stuff. You're talented. I like you.
Thank you.
Talking to Emma, but you're good
Oh,
too.
okay. I didn't realize that. I'm sorry, but yes, Emma Stone is very talented.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So the next one on my list is something. You probably recognize it as like a major Christian radio hit. It's probably been used in a lot of churches lately,
Okay.
and it's by a group called I Am They, and the title is Scars. And and just about all the lyrics would pretty much not much describe uh, how I've matured past my ambition to get glory and fame for myself, and you know, and to me, the message of the song is like you know, I've been I've experienced pain. I've and but but God made it work for my best, and I feel like I've been disappointed. I've had dreams that have never come true. I've never experienced romance. I've never experienced like Hollywood fame, and if none of those ever happen, I don't think I would have a problem with it.
Okay.
And I think for so long I was chasing things like that in a rather aimless way. But but now but now I can say now that I'm more content. I'm okay that that never happened, and I would probably say that I'm actually thankful that none of that ever happened because now, now because because it didn't happen and because I went through all these difficulties, I'm stronger in Christ now. I'm I can I can be kind of Jesus to other people. I can take I can be mm, mm, I can be stronger now in God, that kind of thing. I feel like that's the sort of thing that this song says to me.
Awesome. That very good for you, buddy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a refreshing kind of thing for a song to say, "I'm thankful for the scars that I've had."
Hmm.
You know, most people would probably say, "Oh, wait, this hurts so bad. There's nothing good about this." This song is kind of saying, I guess, the opposite. It's saying, you know, I'm glad that, that these that this pain happened because it brought me to a better place, a more mature place, or something like that.
All right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. What about you? What have you got?
I One of the last couple that I have written down here was "This Is Me" from The Greatest Showman.
Oh yeah, my sister likes that movie.
Oh yeah, I didn't see it right away when it first came out. In fact, it took me a while to actually get the opportunity to watch it, but once I did, I fell in love with the music.
Oh yeah, I've heard a little bit of the soundtrack, and we actually no, for our at the movies series, like a few years ago in the summer,
Yeah.
one of the movies that we used was The Greatest Showman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now I kind of okay. I pretty much selected this song because of the main message it has, which is basically society may think that I'm a bit different or I'm a bit weird or that I'm not anything like them, but if they can't accept me for who I am, whatever, this is who I am. Deal with it.
It's their problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a very uplifting, inspiring kind of there was another word I had for it that really worked. Empowering
Power,
song.
power. I was thinking like power anthem or power ballad.
Same kind of deal.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I did have just one last one on my list, and this is a
Okay.
song that, and this is a song that I think probably most all the world knows by now. It's it's a song that some people might think was overplayed back in its time, eh, and it probably gets old after a while. But in a way, if you script the sequence just right, I or if you were to script the sequence just right, I think it would work fairly nicely.
All right.
And it's the song "Somebody That I Used to Know" by Gautier featuring Kimbra.
I feel like I should know what that song is.
Yeah, I think if you played a sample, uh, you'd probably have a light bulb go off like that.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I imagined like maybe like a scene like late in the movie where I'm talking back and forth with my past self, and often now one self is doing some lyrics, the other one's doing others. Like the past self would maybe be doing the chorus, and maybe the present self would be doing the verses, and like because the first lyric that came to mind was in like the bridge or the second verse where it says, I think it's something like, "You had me believing it was always something that I'd done." I think that's a lyric that applies to me because I guess I guess people were always for a lot of times in my life I felt like people were getting mad at me for something, and it and it probably psychologically scarred me to a point where I felt like a lot of the stuff that was happening to me that didn't feel good was because of something stupid that I'd done.
Okay.
Yeah. And then this idea just kind of started to flow from there.
Huh. I could definitely see it then.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. You said you had what, two more?
Well, the last one I had for this list was a song by Smash Mouth called "Everyday Superhero."
I know the group. I know like a few of their recordings, but not that song.
Well, if you want to hear it in a film, it was done, I believe, in a movie called The Pacifier that had Vin Diesel. Uh,
I don't remember. If I heard the vocals, I would recognize the artist probably. I've seen the movie more than once, but I don't remember. Was it in the end credits?
I think it was in the end credits. Again, I think so, but it's been a little while, so I don't remember for sure. But I know it was at one point in the movie when he was starting to really get used to being in the position that he was in, watching the kids or whatever. So they played that song as he was kind of prepping himself for the day, like making sure all the kids had what they needed. He was ready to care for like the toddler or whatever the case may have been if something should happen.
I think you're thinking of the Good Charlotte song, the anthem. But that was in there. I think that's maybe the montage you're thinking of, if it's a montage you're talking about.
I think it was a montage. Yeah, I regardless of where it was in the film, again, I'm pretty sure they played it twice. But I put it on there because it was kind of like saying I'm kind of different. No, that's not it. I was thinking of something else. Uh, it kind of tells the message I do exactly what any ordinary person would do, but just the fact that it's called Everyday Superhero kind of tells me while I may do the same things as everybody else, I still feel good about doing it, or I leave a good impact doing what I do, even though it seems not out of the ordinary.
Or special.
Yeah.
No.
Like I'll
Yeah.
do this normal thing, but I'll do it with good intent, so it may yield good results for other people.
Yeah. If it seems boring or trivial, yeah, that's your problem. But I'm ha- I'm happy to do it. I think it can really make a difference.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. You ever wondered why the pacifier is so often televised?
I'm not entirely sure. That is an excellent question. I know it's been
Yeah,
aired at least a good handful of times.
yeah, I don't get it either. It's not exactly. You don't hear it talked about like as a blockbuster or something like that. But I guess it's something of a cult classic that keeps popping up again.
And okay, so I while we were talking, I went onto YouTube to see if I could find the scene where that song would have played in the movie, and I might have found one or two possibilities, but I haven't clicked on anything yet, so I don't know if these are just compilations of clips from the movie with the song played over it, or if it's the actual scene. I have no idea, but it is part of the soundtrack.
Yeah, yeah. I think the scene you were thinking of had the Good Charlotte song, the anthem, in it.
That might be the case. I'd have to look back at that movie again to see if I can verify.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So and one last one you said.
That was the last one.
Okay. Yeah, I had a list of a few different actors that I thought might fit me.
Okay.
My first one was just based on his performance when I watched him in ABC's Secrets and Lies. Ryan Phillippe.
All right.
Yeah. Um, just just the righteous anger vibe. And just or how he gets angry if he thinks somebody's crossing him, or when the character is being nagged on or something. Something he gets fired up, but in a good, healthy way, probably. So that's one of my choices there.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, what I did for mine is I had one, possibly two names listed for who would play a young version of me, the modern version of me, and like an adult or slightly somewhat older version of me. Like not like old, but like maybe 10, 20, maybe even 30 years into the future. But
All right.
so for the young me, it was kind of hard to find somebody because there aren't too many like young blonde actors I could think of. So I looked up pictures of different modern celebrities when they were younger, and one that seemed to fit for me, at least when I was looking at it, was like a younger Zac Efron.
Yeah, maybe they could maybe insert old home movies of him into your movie.
It could do that. I know in the third High School Musical 3 movie, there was a song that kind of brought his character and his friend like thinking back to their childhood. And there was one segment in the song where they crawl under like a car and then their younger selves come out the other end.
When they're like jumping around a junkyard full of cars and singing "The Boys Are Back."
Yeah, that one. So I thought maybe something like that, or just a young, like the actual young Zac Efron.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, he's all right. Yeah. And you thought of other ones for other eras of your life?
Yeah, one I had for the modern version of me. Again, this was slightly difficult to think of. At this point, there was just probably a lot of possibilities, but the one that I found that I thought looked closest to me out of all the people that I thought of was an actor named Chad Foss. I don't know too much about him or the kind of stuff that he's done before. It was primarily and almost solely based on the way he looked. At
You
least
can't
that one
name
of the
any.
photos that I saw.
You can't name anything he's been in.
Not off the top of my head.
Okay.
I mean, I could go on IMDb and look.
No, you don't have to.
Okay.
Or okay. And what about the older version?
Well, the adult me, I actually had two names for this, and the first one was Chris Hemsworth, and it
Um,
hmm?
Does he play Thor?
He does, yes, but it's not necessarily for the muscles, although that would be nice. But whether it be the way he was dressed or styled in Thor, or I've seen clips of him in real life just hanging out with his family or whatever, he has the kind of attitude or sometimes even appearances that I would have loved to have not growing up, but when I grow up a little bit more. Like he's got like a facial hair that goes around like the mouth. He every once in a while has a little bit of hair that comes to a point on the top of his head that honestly really worked. But it's his overall cheerfulness that he seems to have that made me think, you know what? Yeah, that could work.
Do you do like any kind of workouts?
I tried doing that in college, though I just could not keep committed to it because after a while, At first, it felt nice, but then after some time went by, it just felt like I had to do it instead of me wanting to, and that kind of drew me away from it.
Yeah, I used to do a lot of treadmill walking, but I pretty much grew tired of that. Now all I do is just stationary bike pedaling, maybe an occasional basketball outside. That's pretty much all I do. I'm probably not the most rigorous or whatever thing, but I'm not that motivated. I don't think.
That's fair.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, did you ever do like mm, weight exercises like at the college gym or anything?
I did do that a little bit. I probably did it more often in high school, actually, but I think at one point I was able to easily bench press like 110, 120 without too much of a problem. But I don't know if I could do that now.
I don't know if I could ever do that.
I mean, really, it would just come with time and dedication. And right now, it's just not on the top of my priority list.
Well, as if I were a pro athlete, I'd probably have to do that like every day.
Most of them probably do, although they do advise often to at least take breaks or don't do it too often, otherwise, you might actually damage your muscles.
Or throw up.
Yeah, that can happen too.
Yeah. Okay. You said there was another one you thought of for your old self?
Yeah, the other person that came to my mind is actually somebody we've talked to, or not talked, I wish we talked to, but no, talked about a good chunk of times, and that is Vic Mignogna.
Oh, yes, yes. We've mentioned him like probably three times, maybe more before.
Yeah, we have, and I thought of him because he is the kind of guy I would want to be when I'm older overall. He absolutely loves talking to and hanging out with other people. He likes to see that he's made a positive impact on them, making sure they have a good day, or at least making them smile. Even when people are doing trashy things to him, he's not seeking revenge. He just takes it and then tries to move on as best he can. He's just overall a really genuinely nice guy that prioritize prioritizes other people over himself, and I feel like that's very admirable, and that's the biggest reason why I feel like he would be a great fit to portray an older me.
You said people treat him like crap. He just puts up with it. You said.
Yeah, I won't go into too much detail right now, especially since it would take a long time, but I think in January of 2018, it was around the time the English dub for the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie came out, because he was the titular character in that film. Uh, right around the time that film came out, he got hit by several allegations from other voice actors. And at first, I was on the fence because I didn't know the whole story. But as time went on, as things were released or talked about more, it just seemed like anything that was brought against him was complete and utter BS. And regardless of anything that happened towards him, he took it like a champ. He didn't express hatred towards anyone. In fact, I know at one point he emailed one of the biggest people that was throwing allegations at him, and he was like, I have no idea what I did, but if I did do something, please let me know so I can at the very least apologize and try to make amends. So even though he believed he didn't do anything, he still wanted to make things right however he could. He didn't say like, how dare you say this to me or about me? How dare you make people think I'm a bad person? No. He, if anything, just wanted to make sure they were on the same page.
Yeah, I think I can respect that, and it reminds me of lately you've probably heard about how lately our governor Andrew Cuomo has been accused of
Yeah.
of harassment, I guess, or sexual misconduct. But I guess from what I remember, he has said that he never really meant to hurt anybody. That he was apologetic for offending anyone if he did, which I guess is at least a starter. I think, or at least he's not. He doesn't seem to be acting like he doesn't see a problem or he doesn't care. And uh, overall, I probably wouldn't agree with his politics, but I don't know. At least he's not acting or implying that he doesn't care how others felt.
Yeah, he's not necessarily going on the offensive like with Vic, but I'm trying to think of the best way to word this because I don't think Vic is doing this, and I don't know the whole story about Cuomo, so I will try not to say too much. But there are several people out there that will apologize or say I wasn't aware that I did anything because they're trying to avoid being caught or whatever, or they're trying to drive attention back away from them, or they're trying to make it seem like they're a good person. Some people won't think badly of them because it might hurt them in some fashion. Again, not saying either one of them did that, but I know there are several people, especially if you watch a show like Maury or Steve Wilkos, where they'll act all confident, all tough, whatever the case may be, but the moment they're caught lying or doing something nasty, that is when they'll start apologizing. But at the same time, you'll know that if they weren't caught, they wouldn't have done anything. I don't know if the same thing would apply to Cuomo or not, but I'm just very skeptical when is apologizing right now. Because I think at this point, he's just trying to. I'm not. I'm going to throw a bunch of disclaimers out there simply because I don't want people giving me flack. I certainly do not know if this is the case for sure, but from my personal viewpoint, I think any apologies that Cuomo is trying to throw out there right now is for him to try and save his political position.
Now, I probably don't know enough about him to make an informed comment one way or the other, but I think I can say that I have forgiven him in the sense that I've let go of any resentment or hurt that I've felt toward him. If I think I think I say give him whatever punishment is necessary, and do whatever they got to do, but yeah, don't completely don't like kill him or anything.
Yeah, I was about to say you don't want to like do anything that you'll regret later. And oftentimes, if you do something like murder or assault somebody, that just makes you as bad as whatever you're accusing them of.
No, it's like that quote. This is one of my favorite quotes from Max Keeble's Big Move. We are no better than the bullies if we do exactly what the bullies do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so I was thinking, when we were mentioning Vic a little bit ago.
Yeah.
Oh, are you familiar with the Christian group DC Talk?
Not too much, no.
Oh, so was Toby Mac, Michael Tate, and Kevin Max, and they all went to Liberty University. I think like at or around the same time as Vic Mignogna did, and Vic actually is credited with some of the vocal and music arrangement, and he did that on a couple of tracks apparently on DC Talk's first album.
Son of a gun.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done a lot of songs or covers or versions of songs of his own. I don't know if he made it, but somebody did on Spotify of a playlist specifically of a lot of the songs that he has done. And a good portion of them are like worship songs or something along that line. So I could definitely see him doing that.
Yeah. Actually, another interesting connection. I heard a parody of a song I think a lot of people have heard called Mary Did You Know? It was a Star Wars themed parody called Vader Did You Know? And Mary Did You Know was actually the lyrics that were turned into the song pretty much were actually written by another alumnus to Liberty, Mark Lowry.
Mark Lowry, wow.
Oh, is that the way you said that made me think you probably are familiar with the name.
I definitely have heard that name before.
Yeah, so he sang two separate periods of time with the Gaither Vocal Band, and he graduated from Liberty in 1980.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's done like a number of albums of Christian comedy and singing.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I grew up hearing and watching quite a bit of him.
All right. I'm assuming you can find his music on like YouTube or something like that, right?
Yeah, you probably could. He's probably on his own YouTube. I know he has his own YouTube, and he has a book that he read out loud on his YouTube that he wrote like 20 years ago called "Live Long and Die Laughing." And it's a good book from what I listened to. I listened to the whole thing. It's there's some good stuff in there.
All right, awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's all that Liberty University connection there, and it made me think maybe Lynchburg, Virginia, where it's located, is probably the place I'll want to retire.
There you
Just
go.
like because of that stuff,
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Anyway, back to my list of actors for me. So, another person I thought of was Bradley Cooper, pretty much for like a similar reason to my reasoning for choosing Ryan Phillippe. His angry expressions, like like when I saw him in Burnt and Silver Linings Playbook. I remember having these fiery, angry expressions on camera, and particularly Silver Linings Playbook. I think when he would get all brewing with angry emotion about his wife cheating on him, or ex-wife, I guess I should say.
Okay.
So yeah, that's pretty much the reasoning there.
All right.
Yeah. Oh. And then you could probably say this is a very different selection, but I also selected Devin Werkheiser, whom I guess you could say rose to fame on Nickelodeon's Ned's Declassified as the titular actor.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one too much because, again, it didn't have Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network, but I feel like I can kind of picture him, at least when he played that character.
As me?
Yeah, I could see it.
Oh, yeah. Well, did you ever have a relative or something send you like recorded cable TV on cassette or something?
No, it would just be when I'm with a friend that has those channels, and we might happen to flip to Nickelodeon or whatever as that show comes on.
Oh, my grandmother did that more than once when I was a kid. She would send our house like recordings of like SpongeBob uh, or or once she sent us a uh, a recording when ABC aired the Santa Claus. Even though we had the network, she still sent it to us. Yeah, so she sent us the Wonderful World of Disney presentation of the Santa Claus and episodes of well, at least mostly SpongeBob on one cassette.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like each cassette would have like one or two episodes on it.
Actually, the one with the SpongeBob had a bunch of them. Well,
Oh wow.
uh, well, like back in what most fans would say, like the good era of the series, like 1 through 3. I think seasons 1 through 3, like Wormy or the Secret Box or Patty Hype or um, like or Pizza Delivery or like a bunch of them.
That is awesome.
Yeah, yeah, really, not really. I think my introduction, I think, to the show was one that's vaguely in my memory of being in a hotel tuned into Nickelodeon, and then like a couple or so years later, I got this cassette from my grandma, and then eventually we got the first couple season box sets on DVD,
Hmm.
and which I think are still like in our current house to this day, as far as I know.
All right.
Yeah. I'll take and from what I imagine, you and our friend Dalton Letta, whom we've mentioned before, for who started Campaign D, which recently got their own commercial on TV. From what I imagine, you and him are big fans of the show.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
One of our favorite scenes to quote comes from, I think it's called Band Geeks, where Squidward is trying to quickly put together a band from the townspeople. And it's the scene where Patrick gets into a fight with Sandy. They go outside. He pokes his head back in, and he's been shoved into the trumpet itself. So, like, when he goes, actually, I think it might have been a trombone. In any case, he walks back in. He sits on the chair. The trombone plays a note, and his mouth opens to get the sound out.
And with like every step he takes, a note of the horn plays.
Yep,
Yeah, yeah,
it's one of our favorites.
yeah, yeah. And yeah, and it seems like they're trying really hard to like expand the franchise. They've done a musical, they've done feature films. They just did like a 3D animated film, I think, Sponge Out of Water.
Sponge Out of Water came out. Let's see. Let's see. When was that?
Um, I thought it was recent.
Let's see. The original SpongeBob movie came out in 2004. That was after the first three seasons, I think, ended. Sponge Out of Water came out in 2015. And then the third SpongeBob movie just came out this past year.
And I think the first SpongeBob movie was like like one of the competitors of the first Incredibles.
Was that the case?
Because I believe The Incredibles was released November 5th, 2004.
Oh, wow. Was it really that long ago? Oh, yeah, I guess so, because there was like a 14, 15-year wait. for the sequel.
And The Incredibles was probably the first film that I actually saw in our current hometown of Rochester, New York, in a theater.
Yeah, I'm not
I
sure what
came
the first one for me was.
I came here in we moved here July of 2004, like mid-July, when I was 11 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it was the summer after I graduated elementary school in Freeville, New York, like just outside of Ithaca.
Sure.
Yeah, or the Dryden area, technically, I think you'd call it. What would you say was like is like your earliest recollection of a movie theater going experience?
I think one of the first ones, at least I remember going to, was I think it was the VeggieTales movie that told the story of Jonah.
Jonah, a VeggieTales movie, yeah. Yeah, I thought you might have grown up with VeggieTales because, as far as I understand, you're a person of faith, like I am.
I mean, there's at least one or two people I can think of that also grew up in faith, but they actually, I won't say who right now, just in
Okay.
case, but they actually weren't allowed to watch VeggieTales.
Hmm. Oh,
They never,
even though they were in faith families.
they were in a faith family, they still are. Uh, they never specified reason, and I'm not going to pry them of it, but for whatever reason, they just weren't allowed to watch it growing up. I don't know if they thought the idea of sentient vegetables was a little off, but that's the only reason I can personally think of.
Oh yeah. Saw plenty of VeggieTales videos in my day. Yeah.
Oh
Yourself?
yeah, I you can't really see because they're slightly off camera, but I actually have like a big rack of DVDs over here, and there's an entire section that just has VeggieTales there.
My brother.
Oh, he does that too?
Now I'm just saying. Yeah, I mean, you're my brother, like in spirit.
Oh,
VeggieTales.
okay.
In the sense that we both have that, you know, history of experience. You know.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. 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 You know. mm, I guess it's kind of funny, you know, the political opposite. You know, well, most faith families, from what I kind of hear, well, they would insist their kids watch that, but in the cases you talked about, it was pretty much the opposite.
Well, it's like the one, maybe two cases, but most people that I know, especially if they're in a faith-based family like Christians, then yeah, they've probably grown up with VeggieTales.
Right. So I said earlier, Devin Werkheiser, probably because I guess I guess I don't really know how to describe it. Guess you know Ned Bigby just had that sort of personality of, I'm not sure how to put it into words. Like, how do I put this into words? Like, just just crazy ambition, uh, or or kind of just I'll go with my own flow, or I'll go sort of my way, figure out my own flow, sort of thing, I guess.
Kind of like an independence type thing.
I'm sort of, I guess, kind of a creative mind that didn't, I'm pretty much resented traditional authority, or or like to challenge traditions, I guess.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, and then I thought of an actor who's probably relatively obscure nowadays, Spencer Breslin. That
All
ring a
right.
bell?
Not for me.
Like he was in a Disney film called The Kid with Bruce Willis, and played an elf in the Santa Claus sequels, and was also in a couple movies with Tim Allen, like called Zoom and The Shaggy Dog.
All right.
So, um, yeah, I'd say my reasoning is pretty much based on like his like when he would angrily shout a line of dialogue. He would just get so fired up in this sort of he just had this sort of fiery vibe about him. I can kind of see in myself. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. I also thought of an actor who back when Heroes was on NBC, he was one of the stars, and now he is on another NBC show currently running, This Is Us.
Oh
Milo
yeah.
Ventimiglia.
And
Yeah.
my mom and I have been watching This Is Us, so
Oh man, and we relate to each other so well. My mom is into that show. Now it's we regularly watch new episodes together in the living room as a family. At least me and my parents.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. And you would you say you pretty much do the same thing?
Yeah, a lot of times when I'm watching a show, it's often with any family members that are around at the time, especially if it's a show we both really like, and This Is Us is one of them. Some shows like America's Got Talent, or what's another good one? Shoot,
Yeah.
trying to
What
think
is
of.
another good? What is another good one? That's a good question.
Let's see.
Yeah, like maybe Grey's Anatomy, is that one?
That's not one of them.
Um,
Masked Singer.
oh yes, good one. The good one though. I haven't been watching it lately. I've been keeping up with the elimination results though.
Yeah, if nothing else, I do like to watch that, but we do like to like watch the performances, see if we can pick up any of the clues and guess who it is before they reveal. We haven't gotten too many of them, but there have been two or three where something will click. Excuse me, will click and we'll be like, "Oh wait, I know who that is," and then we get it right. We feel so much more satisfied.
Yeah, I feel like the clues have been difficult lately. Maybe on occasion I'll feel like I might have a slight idea, but I feel like lately I never really have gotten any of them right.
Yeah, we haven't gotten too many as of recent, but I know towards the beginning of this season, there was a different host for a little bit because Nick
DC
Cannon had
Nash,
been
yeah,
diagnosed. Yep. Nick Cannon had been diagnosed with COVID, so he had to take
right.
some weeks off. And then at one point, they started doing like extra
Wild cards.
competitors, wild cards. Yeah, that was the term I was looking for. And it was like a golden bulldog. And towards the end, we figured we knew exactly who was going to get sent home because her performance was honestly just to us not that good. But she
But then
suddenly
it
was
ended up
like,
being, and then it ended up being Nick.
and I was able to call that one not necessarily because of the clues, but because she was like, "We're gonna forego the vote tonight because I get to decide who leaves." It's like, what? That doesn't seem fair. And then she just said, it's going to be the bulldog. Take the hat off. It's like, wait a minute. It's been a little while since Nick has been diagnosed, and they're probably doing this as a means to bring him back to the show. So I bet that's Nick Cannon. And it turned out to be him.
Yeah, I think that explains why they had Nisi make the call there.
Yeah, because under normal circumstances, that honestly would not be fair.
Yeah. So I think maybe she already knew it was him.
Yeah, she probably did if she was going to do that. And then I don't know what was going on with like the first elimination of the series, but they decided to have Kermit the Frog.
Which was something I didn't expect when I read the results of the first episode. I looked on Wikipedia, I should say, I think, to see who had been unmasked first.
Sure.
And and the name Kermit the Frog showed up, and that was a surprise to me. I was used to, I guess, because I was used to seeing, like human performers getting unmasked, and then they have this puppet. They have a puppet hiding in one of these costumes.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the actual unmasking being done, but when they took the headpiece off.
Oh, I saw.
Oh, you did see? Okay.
Yeah, it was like Nisi was like, something's in there, and then slowly,
like green hands came out at first.
Slowly, either that or his head popped out. It's Kermit the Frog.
Yeah, that was good.
It was like the masking that wasn't like 100% an unmasking, but it's enough. I'll take it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So did you last season have confidence that you could correctly guess one of them?
Let's see. Trying to think of some of the ones that were on the fourth season.
I could maybe name some if that helps.
Sure.
Or do you think, should I name just like the characters, or should I name the celebrities?
Was the Banana season 4 or was he season 3?
3.
Okay, because when they started getting closer to his reveal, it kind of sounded like it would be
Bret Michaels?
Yeah, I was about to say Brett, but I couldn't remember what his last name was. But like, I started to pick up on it being him towards the end.
It was tough for me, like the last couple completed seasons. As they were going through the Kitties run, I thought like late in her run, I thought, but I based this just on the style, the vocal style and the musical style of the performance. Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend. I thought Catherine McPhee, but it turned out to be Jackie Evancho.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. In a way that was nice, allowed her to more freely express her versatile musical interests in a way.
Yeah, and it was kind of interesting to see her standing next to Nick Cannon again, because when she competed on America's Got Talent, he was a host at the time.
Which Nick
and
pointed
she
out.
Was quite a bit. She what?
No, which Nick pointed out when she was unmasked. Now he said 10 years ago, she and I stood on this stage together.
Yeah, and she was a bit smaller at the time, so just to see how much she had grown up since then was cool to see.
There's always like there always seems to be like a connection that each of these competitors has to like one to at least one of the panel or to Nick Cannon.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So there was that, for example, or the Penguin, Sherry Shepard, The View, Jenny McCarthy.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. You know, you know, another person I thought of for my role, John Francis Daly, whom as a kid starred on the show Freaks and Geeks, and then later went on to write, do script writing for movies like Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2 and Horrible Bosses. And he's also acted on the Fox drama Bones.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think I think it's really all based on his performance in Freaks and Geeks. That's sort of kind of innocent, but very ambitious, hopeful, um, young kid.
Yeah. It also looks like I'm looking on his page on IMDb. It looks like he was a writer for Spider-Man: Homecoming.
I I do vaguely remember reading that he wrote or was gonna write for a Spider-Man film.
Yeah, he did back
Yeah.
in 2017 when that movie came out.
Okay. So and then I thought, kind of for a similar reason, I guess, Thomas Middleditch, who one of the stars of HBO's Silicon Valley and has done an American Express ad and some commercials for Verizon.
All right.
Does and that sound familiar, Thomas Middleditch?
Not really. I mean, it makes me think of Tom Hiddleston, but I know that's nowhere near the same person.
Yeah, that ain't the same.
Right. It just happens to be a very similar sounding name.
I think he like in maybe like the Verizon commercials and Silicon Valley, he gives off this vibe of mm, I think I had a poor connection. So I think he like in that stuff is given off this vibe of like kind of similar to the John Daly thing.
Mhm.
Innocence, a little insecurity, but ambition and intelligent at the same time, I guess.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. And there was just one more, or this is probably a rather obscure actor. I only really know him for doing this one thing. He plays the role of Dimitri, who's sort of a goody goody kind of a kind of innocent goody goody kid Dimitri on Cobra Kai. His name is Gianni DiCenso.
Okay. I mean, I haven't seen Cobra Kai yet, but I'll be able to at least point him out now.
Yeah, well, Dimitri is sort of a like I said, kind of a goody goody, trying to do the right thing or play it safe. And I guess that may describe maybe both the past and the present me to some degree. So I went with him.
All right. That makes sense.
Okay, so yeah. So that pretty much covers my list, and I think that's all the both of us got. And well, and I probably won't be able to record for a couple weeks, and I'll explain after we stop rolling.
Okay.
So, uh, so if you want, you can look us up on YouTube, Google Podcasts, Anchor, Spotify. Well, we put everything on our Facebook, and you can message us, email us, specifically Facebook message us, or email us. We have a Gmail address you can find on our Facebook, and I think it's also on our YouTube. And feel free to you know join the conversation, talk to us, and if you know us, maybe request to be on a future episode.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to hear from everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So until next time, this is More Layers signing off. Take care.
See you, everybody.